Have you ever noticed that some people walk into a room and instantly command respect? They don't shout, they don't brag, they don't demand attention, but somehow everyone listens when they speak. People go out of their way to help them. They're treated with a level of dignity that most people spend their whole lives chasing. What do they have that you don't? It's not looks, it's not money, it's not status, it's behavior. Specifically, it's a set of quiet, almost invisible behaviors that signal to everyone around them, consciously and unconsciously, that this person deserves respect. And here's what's fascinating. Japan has studied this for centuries. In a country of 125 million people living in extremely close proximity, on packed trains, in dense cities, in small apartments, the Japanese developed a precise social code, a set of behaviors so refined, so intentional, that they don't just make life more harmonious, they make the people who practice them magnetic. Today, I'm going to show you 7 of those habits. None of them require money. None of them require confidence you don't have yet. They only require awareness. And once you start practicing them, the way people treat you will quietly but permanently shift. But before we get into the habits, I want you to understand something important. These aren't social tricks. They're not manipulation tactics. They're not hacks to make people like you. They're principles. And principles work differently from tricks. Tricks wear off. Principles compound. The longer you practice them, the more powerful they become. So, let's begin. Habit 1. Ma, the power of the pause. Most people are terrible listeners, not because they're selfish, but because they've been trained by modern life to respond instantly. Someone finishes a sentence, and before they've even taken a breath, you're already talking. You're not listening to understand, you're listening to reply. In Japan, silence between words is not awkward. It's respectful. It's called ma, the meaningful pause, the intentional space between speaking and responding. When a Japanese person finishes speaking, the listener often waits 2 or 3 full seconds before responding, not because they have nothing to say, but because they're signaling, "I heard you. I'm processing what you said. You matter enough for me to think before I speak." Here's why this shifts how people treat you. When you pause before you respond, people feel genuinely heard, possibly for the first time in a long time. And the person who makes others feel heard becomes the person others seek out. They become the trusted one, the one people open up to, the one people want around. Try this today. In your next conversation, when the other person finishes speaking, wait 2 full seconds before you respond. It will feel uncomfortable at first, but watch what happens to the quality of the conversation. Habit 2. Omoyari, compassionate consideration. Here's a question most people never ask themselves. Before you do anything, do you stop and think about how it will affect the people around you? If you're honest, probably not. Most of us move through life focused on our own experience, our own needs, our own timeline. It's not selfishness exactly, it's just how we're wired when we're not paying attention. The Japanese call the opposite of this Omoyari. It means compassionate consideration, the ability to anticipate how your actions affect others and to adjust accordingly before being asked. On Japanese trains, people speak in whispers or not at all, not because there's a strict rule, but because everyone instinctively asks, if I make noise, how does that affect the person next to me? When someone practices Omoyari consistently, something remarkable happens. People begin to feel safe around them. They feel considered, respected. And the people who make others feel that way, they're treated completely differently from everyone else. In your daily life, Omoyari looks like this: holding a door open without being asked, keeping your voice down in shared spaces, checking in on someone before they have to ask for help, cleaning up after yourself without being reminded. These are tiny acts, but they send a signal that very few people send. And that signal says, I see you. I'm thinking about you. You matter to me. Habit 3, Kata, the discipline of doing things properly. In Japan, almost everything has a form, a correct way of doing it. The way you bow, the way you present a business card with both hands, facing the recipient, treated like a gift, not a transaction. The way you enter a home, removing your shoes, not just because of cleanliness, but as a gesture of someone's personal space. This concept is called kata, which roughly translates to form or pattern, and it's rooted in a simple but powerful belief. How you do anything is how you do everything. When you do small things with care and intentionality, people notice, not always consciously, but they notice, and over time, they build a picture of you as someone who takes things seriously, someone who can be trusted with important things because they treat unimportant things with the same care. Think about the people you respect most in your life. I'd bet that they're not careless people. They show up on time, they follow through, they do the small things right. That's kata in action. Start with one thing today. Pick one routine interaction, a greeting, a handshake, the way you enter a meeting, and do it with complete intentionality. Watch how the energy of that interaction changes. Habit 4, Gaman, dignity under pressure. This habit is rare, and because it's rare, it commands enormous respect. Gaman is a Japanese concept that means enduring difficulty with patience and dignity, not suppressing your emotions, not pretending everything is fine, but choosing not to let your discomfort become everyone else's problem. In the West, we're increasingly encouraged to express everything we feel immediately and loudly. And while emotional honesty has its place, there's a cost. When you complain constantly, when you react dramatically to every inconvenience, when you make your stress visible to everyone around you, people start to feel drained by your presence. But when someone handles pressure quietly, when they stay composed when things go wrong, when they solve problems instead of broadcasting them, people notice something different. They feel calm around that person. They trust that person. They bring that person their hardest problems because they know they won't get panic or drama in return. Gaman isn't about being a robot. It's about being a steady presence in an unsteady world, and that steadiness is one of the most magnetic qualities a human being can have. The next time something frustrates you, try this. Before you react, take one slow breath. Ask yourself, is my reaction going to help this situation? If not, hold it. Handle the situation first. Feel your feelings later in private. Habit 5, Kaizen, becoming quietly better every day. Here's something most people don't realize about respect. Respect isn't given based on who you are right now. It's given based on the trajectory people perceive you on. Are you growing? Are you improving? Are you someone who's quietly becoming more capable, more knowledgeable, more skilled over time? The Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, continuous improvement, is usually applied to business, but the people who apply it to themselves become almost irresistible to be around. Because here's the thing, most people plateau. They finish school and stop learning. They get a job and stop growing. They settle into patterns and stay there for decades, and unconsciously, people around them sense that stagnation. But the person who's always quietly getting better, reading, practicing, reflecting, improving, they carry a different energy. There's a vitality to them, a sense that being around them is worth something because you'll always learn something new or feel something new. Kaizen, in personal terms, means this: every single day, find one thing to get 1% better at, one thing you can practice, one book you can read, one skill you can develop. It doesn't have to be visible. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Just 1%. Over a year, that compounds. Over 5 years, it's unrecognizable. And the people around you will feel that growth, even if they can't name it. Habit 6, Wabi-Sabi, the confidence of imperfection. This might be the most counterintuitive habit on this list. Wabi-Sabi is the Japanese acceptance of imperfection, the recognition that nothing is permanent, nothing is perfect, and nothing is ever truly finished. And that's not a problem, that's the nature of life. Here's why this shifts how people treat you. Most people are desperately trying to appear perfect. They curate their image obsessively. They hide their mistakes. They perform confidence they don't feel. And everyone around them can sense the performance. It creates distance. It makes them hard to trust and harder to connect with. But the person who's comfortable with their own imperfection, who can laugh at their mistakes, who can say, "I was wrong," without their ego collapsing, who doesn't need to seem perfect to feel okay,
that person is magnetic. Because they're safe. You can be imperfect around them. You can be honest around them. You don't have to perform. Wabi-Sabi in daily life looks like this. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it simply and move on. Don't over-apologize, don't over-explain, and don't pretend it didn't happen. Just say, "I got that wrong. Here's what I'll do differently." And then do it. That combination of accountability without self-destruction is one of the rarest and most respected qualities you can develop. Habit 7. Ichi-go Ichi-e. Treat every moment as unrepeatable. The last habit is the one that ties everything together. Ichi-go Ichi-e is a Japanese phrase that means one time, one meeting. The idea that every encounter, every conversation, every moment shared with another person is happening for the first and last time exactly as it is right now. It will never happen again in this exact way. When you truly internalize this, everything changes. You stop being half present. You stop checking your phone while someone is talking to you. You stop mentally planning your response while someone is still speaking. You stop treating people like background characters in your own story. Instead, you become fully there. And full presence, genuine, undivided attention is one of the rarest gifts one human being can give another. Think about the last time someone gave you their complete and total attention. No distractions, no divided focus, just them fully present with you. How did it feel? Most people can barely remember the last time that happened. When you practice Ichi-go Ichi-e, you become that person for others. And the way people feel in your presence determines everything about how they treat you when you're gone. Put your phone away, make eye contact, be here. That's it. That's the whole habit. But almost nobody does it, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. So here's what we've covered today. 7 quiet Japanese habits that shift how people treat you, not through force or performance, but through presence and principle. Ma teaches you to pause and make people feel truly heard. Omoyari teaches you to consider others before yourself. Kata teaches you that how you do small things is how you do everything. Gaman teaches you to handle pressure with dignity. Kaizen keeps you quietly growing when everyone else has stopped. Wabi-Sabi gives you the confidence that comes from accepting imperfection. And Ichi-go Ichi-e reminds you that this moment, right now, will never come again. None of these habits are loud. None of them will get you immediate attention or instant validation. But that's the point. Real respect isn't demanded. It isn't performed. It's earned, quietly, consistently, over time, through the way you show up every single day. Pick one habit from this list, practice it for the next 30 days, and pay attention to how people around you begin to shift. Because the Japanese have known for centuries what most of the world is only beginning to understand. The quieter your confidence, the louder your presence. If this video made you think differently about how you show up in the world, subscribe, because every week we explore the habits, philosophies, and mindsets that quietly separate the people who are truly respected from everyone else. I'll see you in the next one.